Single leftover women in China are paying for cosplay boyfriends. People in costumes dressing up as their favorite character to give them a boyfriend experience, a man experience. I mean, on one hand it is funny, on the other hand it sort of makes sense, doesn't it? The loneliness epidemic. The epidemic of loneliness we have in modern dating and relationships. How yes, we understand it's pushed as a male loneliness epidemic, please. But I think at this point we understand it's a general loneliness epidemic. It's in general. It's not one gender. It couldn't be one gender. It doesn't make sense. Unless a large number of one gender, for instance, a large number of women were dating a small number of men. And it'd be like, okay, well, that sort of makes sense. But you do understand why loneliness is a big topic now. But a cosplay boyfriend, we've seen AI and robotics as replacements for a partner. But a human being cosplaying a fictional romantic character, I mean, that is interesting, isn't it? Or sad. What do you think?
A rendezvous in a romantic setting surrounded by bridges and water.
Lovely.
But this trip to the park is not a normal date.
Why?
Matilda Wu's boyfriend is actually a female cosplayer.
Okay, alright, let's stop it there before they continue. They're cooking some meat, but I mean, there's none between them.
Female cosplayer.
None between, seriously. But the first interesting point is, it's a woman cosplaying a dude. Interesting, isn't it? But for certain safety reasons, you understand why. Again, a lot of single people have money. They can't find a partner, but they can find the funds to fund one.
Acting as a male character for Wu's favorite video game. The role-playing is part of a new service called Commissioning that has recently become popular on Chinese social media. Cosplayers helping young women bring virtual boyfriends to life is a new trend that has emerged amid a recent craze for Otome games in China.
Interesting. This is actually fascinating. An Otome game is a story-driven, romance-focused video game. Damn, so it's nothing like The Witcher. I mean, there is a bit of romance in Witcher, but whatever. Aimed at female players, where the player character is female and pursues romantic relationships with male characters. These games often involve dialogue choices that can affect relationships and lead to different endings. Interesting.
Spicy.
I mean, is it spooky? Is it freaky? I think it's just different. I see this as all these women reading these romantic novels, these sordid, sex, dirty novels, with perfect men who just love her even though she's crazy and she's a bit ditzy. That doesn't matter. It's a romance novel, yeah? Full of juice and spice and nastiness.
You're just jealous.
Modern freaky woman nastiness. So I see this as sort of the same thing, except this is with a video game. The fictional characters in this are video game characters. So I think it's very similar, different in certain ways, but I think it's the same thing. Now, as far as I know, we don't have, in Western culture, men dressing up as cosplayers from these romantic novels for these women. We don't have that in the West. Well, again, not to my knowledge. But I mean, even if we did, it may be the same thing. It may be women dressing up as men, pretending to be a man and doing boyfriend things to fill a need of loneliness. The single modern woman loneliness. Leftover women everywhere. And by 2030, we're going to see a lot more leftover women. Disposable income for some of them. Oh, they can't find a man, but they can pay a woman to pretend to be one. What an interesting world.
The story-based mobile games encourage female players to develop romantic relationships with male characters. But in the real world, where safety is a concern, most cos commissions are performed by other women.
假如我推真的跑到3次元来的话，可能对我来讲就是这样子的一个日常了。因为相处的过程当中，其实他还是以男友的视角来照顾我的，我还是很享受被人照顾的这种感受。
How lovely. What a lovely single Chinese woman. Doesn't have a man.
Manless.
You know? I mean, you can tell she likes a snack or two. Yeah, it's a snacky girl, snacky girly pop. And because she can't get the feeling in real life, she's willing to pay for it. Now, this is why over the past few months, I've been talking so much about AI relationships and things like that. Because you can see more nowadays, you can see the merging of people using alternatives. Because either they can't find a partner, or the partner they want is not even... can't possibly be real. Hence, fictional characters. Beyond AI, beyond robotics, a human woman pretending to be your perfect boyfriend. But the question is, can this cause mental problems? Like you actually start to believe this person is genuinely there for you and care about you, and it's like, no, you're just paying their bills. In some weird way, that's like a normal relationship anyway.
Matilda insists she is not looking for any romance, but she says cos commissioning brings her a lot of joy.
我的话是比较喜欢喝喝茶，找个地方就是聊聊天，对我来讲就是带给我情绪价值。
Expenses incurred during a session are usually all paid by the client. Prices typically range from 300 to 1,600 yuan per 8-hour session. Costs vary.
Look. Hey. That's not bad. That's not bad. I mean, think about it. You're going to get $200 possibly to hang out with someone, and they're going to pay for your food, and all you have to do is just pretend to be this person. My God, that sounds like being a toxic boyfriend pretending to love a woman. Interesting.
Based on factors such as the location and the cosplayer's profile, including their height and appearance.
Wow. So even in the romantic cosplayer world where you purchase a fake boyfriend, height still matters. Wow. My God, even when it's fictional, women can't get over the height thing, can they? Good God. So this would be beneficial to taller Chinese women who dress up. You can imagine their struggles being a 5'3" woman who does cosplay, but another 5'3" woman wants a 6-foot cosplay player.
Just like a woman.
Oh God, wow. I think they know what it's like to be a short man.
首先我一定要有具备这个经济条件，我才会去约委托，相当于是花钱买自己的一种爱好吧。
Morning is a cosplayer taking on the role of Silas from the game Love and Deep Space. She says that preparing to play different characters on each job can be challenging. When a customer contacts her, Morning arranges dates based on her work schedule. She gets at least 3 jobs per month, and sometimes more than 10 commissions stack up. Morning sends each customer a comprehensive questionnaire to learn about their expectations.
Now, you see, my point is, we're seeing a lot of this more and more alternative dating type of things. We see new emerging markets in ways to kind of quell people's loneliness. Now, again, on one hand, I think it is sort of good. But again, let's not forget how harrowing certain sci-fi scenarios are. Like, clearly, I'm a sci-fi fan, but I will always mention, in most of the coolest sci-fi scenarios of the future, humanity is not in a good state. It's like the world is the way it is it's not because of good things. A future where people are dating AI and f***ing robots isn't necessarily a good future for everybody and humanity on a whole. Individually, yeah. Humanity? I mean, where's the world going to be? So for as good as these alternatives are, it's still sort of pushing us further and further away from each other as human beings. A loss of humanity. Danger. Imagine a time in the future where you question what is it to be a human? What even is it to be a human anymore? And that's sort of terrifying.
有人可能是约情侣像、约会像，也有人是朋友像的这种，还有一些就是可能只是想跟你说说话呀这种的也有。穿的衣服当天是什么样的，然后行程是什么样的，就是提前大概是沟通这些。其实从化完妆开始，你看着镜子的时候就会有不一样的感觉了。然后
We start feeling like a dude. Yeah? Start feeling like a dude? Interesting.
出门啊，言行举止会有意无意的，就是会在意，让自己更像男生一点。
Morning says taking cos commissions gives her a sense of fulfillment outside of her day job.
其实我日常生活是一个不太爱说话，然后我的工作生活有很多苦恼的事情，然后我也觉得我不是一个特别优秀的人吧。但是通过委托扮演别人心目当中的那个人，可以让我觉得我突然变成了他们的英雄的这种感觉。然后看他们委托结束给我的那个
Interesting, lovely. And I mean, on one hand, are we considering that this woman herself, the cosplayer, is actually quelling her own loneliness as well? Yeah, she's making money, she's getting her bag, but in some way her life could be lonely itself. And while her customer's getting some joy, she's getting joy as well. Some fulfillment and quelling of her own loneliness. I'm just saying. It's still human interaction, so I would still put this above AI and robotics, because it's still human, and it's something that 2 human beings can actually benefit off, so interesting.
什么的我也会觉得很幸福。
Wu says Otome games have even helped her better understand what healthy romantic relationships should feel like.
Let your ambitions run wild.
他很多出生的台词都会告诉大家，就是如何正确的看待自己。我们要首先女生要就是尊重女性。
可能大家现在压力都比较大，工作也很忙，重新去认识一个现实中的伴侣是一件不太容易的事情。然后以游就可以让自己在就是工作之余，心里面也会有一种慰藉吧。而且里面的男主也很优秀，也很懂女生，就更比现实中的一些男性会更加懂女生一点。
But okay, come on. Of course, they would understand women better than men in the real world. They're virtual characters. They're designed to cater to women's wants and needs, so come on. We get her point, but come on, really. In other words, these are pandering fictional characters.
You got soft hands, boy.
They're designed to pander to a woman's wants and needs, and it makes sense. It's for money. But the question I want to put in here, the thought I want to put in here is, I mean, if this becomes more and more popular, if it becomes westernized as well, and women in the West are dating their book novel characters, whatever, the question is, will this further inflate women's ego and their expectations, their entitlement of what a perfect man should be? Men are already stressed out. Common men are stressed out already because women have these high demands nowadays in modern dating. No, they don't need a man, they're independent, whatever. And they have these incredibly high standards. A lot of men don't even want to date because women's standards are too ridiculous. The standards are too high. It's pointless dating for a lot of men.
Chaos.
But would this further increase that? Push men and women further apart because these ideals are too... Come on, it's programmed. This is too close to perfection. No real man can do this. And even if one can do it, he's probably just one. So the point is, how dangerous is it for how the general man is seen?
Tomorrow.
On one hand, it's sad that things like this are going to become more common by 2030. On the other hand, can you blame people? Because you could be the best man in the world and still feel like you're not good enough for a common modern woman. Yeah, the world is yours. Have a nice day.
Female cosplayer.